G'day guys, welcome Mailbag Preview Show episode. Don't know, it's deep. We've been going forever. It's Derby Day in Melbourne. It's Spread Eagle Day in Sydney. Pistol Pete joins us. Jono's here. We're powered by puntingform.com.au. It's a database we've always used. We built everything off, and we're still going. So it must be all right. You should try it. puntingform.com.au. We're going to do 2 races in Sydney. We're going to do 1 race Derby Day. I might throw out some more bets at Derby Day. Don't know. See what happens. Let's start in Sydney with Pistol, who's just really stepping up to the plate content-wise. He's all over it. We've got pop-up races galore. We've got leftovers, Peter, as you said, from the Everest in the Russell Balding Stakes, a $3 million 1,300-metre race. And we start there. The rail's true. What's the weather like? What's his track going to do? Sneaky Pete.
Well, I think there was a little bit of rain around this morning, which I haven't actually checked to bother and see if it's actually hit. It's rain possibly this afternoon. Mick Gannon reliably has informed me that the track should be around a soft 6 to a soft 5 yesterday. I'm just double checking, and
Full
it
credit to
is indeed
his
a soft
track
5.
mail's good. His
Yeah,
track
it is good.
decisions and like heads up stuff's good. Yeah, full
Yeah,
credit, Nick.
so he was pretty confident it'll be a good 4. So look, you're expecting typical Randwick rail true, right? Mild conditions otherwise. They'll get off the fence in the straight, probably lanes 5 to 7, 5 to 11 is where you'll see most of the winners.
The Russell Balding. I look at the speed map. I look at the horses. I gravitate to War Machine. What about you?
Yeah. Well, in terms of how they're going to be on pace, I guess Marzu, Private Eye, Coal Crusher coming across from that mid to wide. With Your Blessing will be thereabouts on pace, and then you've got Briartha, War Machine, Golden Mile, maybe Rothfire. I think they'll be the front half of the field. And then horses like Jimmysstar, I don't think 4's really ideal for him. We saw in the Everest he did jump away fairly and was able to muster. Now, a lot of people sort of think that ride, he wasn't suited because he was 3 wide, no cover. It was the best lanes on the
Blessed.
day, and yeah, I
Yep.
thought it was a great ride. So I'm looking at barrier 4 and thinking that's just a negative barrier switch for me. Lady Shenandoah 13, Airman Strauss, they're going to get back. So look, I'm automatically looking at horses forward of midfield on pace, and the one that stands out is Briasa, just off SPs. You go back to the Premier, he started favourite over Jimmysstar, and look, Jimmysstar's never started favourite versus any of these horses, to be fair. I think the only time he started favourite against any of them was War Machine in the Chirac last year. So his SP profile has holes all over it. I'm not knocking the horse at all because I've got him marked 320. What's the current market sitting at though? I think he's high 2s,
260.
mid 2s. Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
you're knocking the price, and the
yeah.
wide draw to the inside draw is a negative. He was suited last start by a really brave ride. Can he do that again from an inside draw? If he steps half slow, he's cast, he's back, he's buried, he's flushed out the
Yeah.
back of the surf in the rip. Whereas
Yeah.
Briasa and War Machine, I'll throw that in too, are 2 horses with strong SP profiles out of the Everest and out of anything else who weren't suited in the Everest and likely will be here.
Yeah. I think War Machine, the only maybe the slight knock with him is he had that big peak first up, and can he then rebound and find again third up? As you said, completely not suited. He had a narrow SP profile or SP advantage over all of his rivals in the Everest, so I guess you have to take that into consideration. Did win third up last prep, so he ticks a few boxes there. I'd probably want double figures for him, but Briasa's the one that I've got marked as a bet. There was 650 around yesterday. Best available 6. Look, that's good enough for me. I think the horse could start even high 4s here.
I completely agree, but I'm happy to win less and throw War Machine in just at the prices. I think there's not a lot between all 3 of them, the top of the market, and 850. You could be talking tens. I think you'd wish that Nash was available, Private Eye wasn't running, and Tim Clark was off. But I'll copy him at 850. The horse that the market sort of helps us, Peter, I reckon, have a bet here's Lady Shenandoah.
Yeah.
Like it's the other one that's in the exact same basket. The map's not good, but they're giving me the same price as Briasa that's going to be suited.
Yeah, it's just, look, J-Mac tax, I mean, we've spoken about it so many times, haven't we? But, although she wasn't suited at Moonee Valley and she had an excuse in the Everest, Rob's yard report wasn't exactly glowing on her on that day. So she's the one that suddenly looks like she's already had her peak. I mean, that first up run, you go back and have a look in hindsight. It was just like, it was almost too good. And she just hasn't been able to reproduce that since. So I know she's had excuses along the way, but you don't really get any chance to find out at what, 550, $6 or so. So,
And
yeah.
any take on the Ryo Taki Joe Moreira ridden Toyo trains, Ryo? Strauss. Shout out to Neil, the game. Peter's tipped me that book 45 times. Says it's one of the greatest books, changed his life. Got him.
Bloody hell.
What is Strauss?
Japanese horse, best over further. Has won on heavy before, so a little bit of a curiosity there for the Japanese form, but we'll get right back. And I mean, what's the $23? Joe Moreira on board. Has Joe won in Sydney yet? Have we worked that out?
I don't know.
I mean, he's doing a retirement lap around the world. It's taking
Yeah, they
3
seem
years
to
or
do
so,
these
but
retirement laps for like 5 years.
yeah, yeah. I don't know. I don't think the figures were that much chop for this horse, so I'm just prepared to let it go around without me.
Remember, guys, the mailbag.com.au, you can get Mounting Out Mail, Derby Day, 9 of the best, the greatest days racing there is on the calendar, Pistol Pete out of the yard. But you can also get Randwick on Saturday. The Scuzz dog, they whisper to him, he puts the headphones on, it's just like a connection he has, and he sends it to you via your phone. I will save you reading your text completely in race 7. There will be at least 0.2 on Strauss, because it's Japanese.
Yeah.
Disagree with that, Peter?
I think it's hard to disagree with that. The horse would have to parade awful, I think, for him not to have a bet on a Japanese horse.
100%. John, take on the Russell Balding Stakes, a 1,300-metre race for $3 million.
I was going to ask Peter more about the Japanese horse, and it is a bit odd, isn't it? A 2,000-metre listed winner earlier this year, here against a few, decent enough sprinters. Private Eye somewhat interests me. Gets a nice weight swing. I think it was through the Stradbroke on a few of these sort of, good chances. Obviously racing in great form. Could he land sort of just behind the speed, maybe get into that nice spot, come across behind like Marzu and get a nice run? $10.
I think he's going to get a great run, Peter. And Nash is as good as anyone. Like, he makes you feel safe. He's going to make us feel safe at Kyneton on Wednesday, Jono. But like, it won a walking race last start. That's the sort of form. That's the form it's got. The Melbourne form it's got is a disgraceful lack of intent from every other rider, and just said, Nash, let us know what we're doing. We all just want to run second. Private Eye did what it should have done. This is a lot harder. This is a lot more brutal. This is a legitimate race with pressure, Peter.
Yeah, I can't add anything further to that. I mean, those 2 Melbourne runs that he's got away with this prep, very slow tempo, just like, you almost wonder what everyone else was doing in the race. Like, Nash is just swinging off the horse and just waiting until like the 250, just with arrogance. And you go back to his Sydney form, and it's just, he's got like the solid SP over a little bit further, in the tramway. It's $2.10, but look, he pretty much had pretty much every chance there. I mean, there was maybe a slowdown to contend with, but then, the $6.50 behind Fangirl, it's not quite what I'm looking for over the sprint trip against some of the Everest form. But look, I agree, he's going to get a perfect run again.
Particularly with the lanes that Peter referenced early, likely being the place that we want to be. Race 8, the Golden Eagle. Sorry, I thought it was called the Spread Eagle. 1,500 metre, $10 million. High pressure speed map, the way I saw it, Peter. Crystal clear, fully lit. Shangri-La Spring, Perfumist, to mention a couple of them that want to go forward. A lot of them from wide draws. This looks like a proper tempo, my man.
Yeah, it really does, doesn't it? I think there would have to be some sort of, really weird, sort of unexpected, a couple of those ones drawn wide just don't even bother, and ends up with being Perfumist as leading by default. I think that's the only way it could end up being anything other than fast. But yeah, we'll go with fast at least. All the horses that look best suited are just going to be sitting in a line almost. You've got Evaporate, Linebacker, Autumn Glow, Seppel's just in front of them, and then, possibly Feroce as well. Panjitao, the Japanese horse, doesn't seem to have great gate speed, and they just prefer to let him find his feet and just try and surge and build momentum. So barrier 4, similar to Jimmysstar, I prefer that horse to have drawn 10. So that's maybe a small knock on Panjitao, just at the price, although I must say, like opening price, I think was around 650, out to 8, and doesn't look any signs of stopping the drift. Just given the move for Autumn Glow, just trimming up
Well,
into now odds on. So
it's a moral, isn't it?
Autumn Glow.
Yeah.
Look, if you want to be one of those who just looks at pure ratings from, one or two joints and just go, right, well, it wins because it's been doing this, I guess you probably can mark her odds on. But I think that negates the fact that there's some horses on the up from Victoria that have seriously good form in exposed fast tempo races that haven't met Autumn Glow before. I would argue that the horses that she has met out of this field, which are fully lit Lord Penman and Depth of Character, should arguably not be in the race, in which case she has got form around nothing in this race. So you're basically going off pure numbers, and if you want to, you're entitled to do that, fair enough, but you haven't done the work. You haven't got up early. You haven't done your replays. Apologies to Kane.
Do your replay. You've got to do your replays. Punting form's amazing, but you still got to do your replays.
Yeah, I mean, look, yes, she's probably going to win the race if she gets the right run, which she probably will get, but at what price are you taking to find out against horses like an Evaporate, who's clearly on an upward spiral, whose last two runs, despite being not suited, have been outstanding, who maps well, who gets a strong rider in Nash? I don't think he loses much with Shinny off, and has got clear improvement. No, exactly. And then I'll throw in as well Sepples, which was just the biggest car crash of all time last start, whose previous start to that was an incredible performance there in the Sir Rupert Clarke off a genuine tempo. And like he beat Angel Capital home, and you can make all the arguments that you want that Angel Capital wasn't suited and should have won the race. I completely think that disregards how good that win was from Sepples, who was there on speed.
And you would say, I would argue very confidently, that Angel Capital's a better horse than Autumn Glow.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I agree. This preparation, I think we'll find that out next prep.
Beat it, and whether it should have beat it or shouldn't have beat it, it started 350 versus it.
Yeah.
With a very, very scary map drawn 16, right? Sepples, I think, obviously I've only just done this as you've spoken, it's got to be the biggest, easiest bet of all time. How the fuck is it $21? Just last start, Peter. It started fucking. It started $3. It started $2.50 versus Evaporate, who I agree is balls deep in this race. $2.50 versus $6 Evaporate, huh?
I know.
Oh, until it hurts, gamble responsibly. Sapels. Now, the question I've got to answer for myself, I don't have to do it right now, but I'm going to have to at some point, is it just Sapels nostrils? Is it Sapels win place? Or is it Sapels nosy and Evaporate nosy? Don't know. They're the two I like here a lot, but I can't fucking believe $21.
Yeah, I think
that's
regardless
ridiculous.
of how you're playing this race, like even if you are, convinced that Autumn Glow's a moral, you still have to at least save on that horse at that price.
If you steam into $2 Autumn Glow and don't have a saver at $21 on the horse that started $3.50 versus Angel Capital about $3.53, you're a fucking moron.
Yeah.
Honestly. You don't value cash, because what price would Angel Capital be in this race?
That's a great point.
I'd say he'd be $2.50 versus $2.50 Autumn Glow almost,
Yeah.
$3. That'd be about the same price.
You'd be willing to have money on to find out if they were given the same draw, same position in run, given how much of an upward
100%.
trajectory he's on. Look, Autumn Glow, yeah, I mean, she could be Winx, but, let's not get too carried away of ourselves. Let's wait until she's actually.
Yeah, we're not trying to find Winx. We're just trying to find winners and get some value. And $21 about a horse that started $3.50 from barrier 16, won, beating Angel Capital, then has a really strong SP edge versus Evaporate. No weight swing out of that race. Wasn't suited that race. Drawn sweet here. Ethan Brown sticks. Feed it. Gamble responsibly, but feed it.
Thought Feroce at a massive price, if you like, in C-Pals. You can sort of tie those two in together. Failed last start, sitting outside Transatlantic on a very hot speed.
That's not a bad call either.
You're saying there's probably another hot speed, but he probably gets back sort of just beyond midfield. Could be doing his best work late. Other than that, liked Evaporate. Thought Linebacker's last start win was good. Autumn Glow's $2. So what more can you do?
Until it hurts. Gamble responsibly. We're going to do one race, guys, at Flemington because, that's all we can be bothered doing, to be honest. It's the Coolmore Stud Stakes. It's a Group 1. It's a famous race. It creates stallions. And it's just a big thickie-a-thon here. We've got 2 for the Sheik. We've got 1 for Mr. Zhang. I don't know who others are. Darby's in there. Bennett Racing, full credit to him. China Horse Club, Beedman. All the big swingers are here, but also the McGaws of the world. God bless that horse. Speed here, Hutcho, I thought was muddling. I'm actually thinking like low pressure, slow to moderate tempo. Just going to run their own races. There's no like horse that just wants to rip and tear here. They all think they're a player. I think that muddling sort of race and that slow to moderate tempo mid-race just sets up for the greatest turn of foot we've seen in Melbourne in the last sort of like 6 months in Tentris to kick their heads in. I think that horse is the horse that looks to me like it's ready. It's been calmly, confidently placed and prepared to spike here, whereas others have been up for quite a while. I'm nervous about Raging Force having a tactical advantage on it and a solid SP versus it last start. But Tentris did go past it like it was standing still. And Mark Zara sticks. Barrier 5, I prefer Barrier 7, but I'm not that worried. I think we're going to be last, but I think it's going to be 3 wide, if not 4 wide line. Honestly, like a bit of fucking like war stuff, charging of the cavalry here. He could be sort of 3 to 4 lengths off him last. And, I respect the Raging Force SP. I don't respect Baywalk because of its SPs. I think they're really vulnerable. I think they look like it sort of surprised them a bit in Sydney. Yeah. What I might do, Peter, is get something out of like a Tycoon Star or a Jimmy Ricardo or a McGaw if they completely just spit them out late. Because I think they're capable horses. And I am nervous and respectful of my Gladiola. Drawn 1 is the setback for it. But I do think she is capable.
I was just going to ask, what are you going to do if the first sort of, 5 races on the card are trending all towards the inside fence? My Gladiola from 1 to, arguably, goes very close to knocking off McGaw last start. It was just held late. And Tentyrus ran 3rd. But clearly with physical improvement to come.
If the market beats me to Gladiola, I'll just let it ride and fucking pray it gets beat. If it's soft and I start to see that, likely add it as a chop. And then if it's real soft late, maybe get a result. That's how I will play Tycoon, Jimmy and McGaw for sure. So, if I think that they're getting right to the outside fence, I think this is the first time this preparation, full credit to Mickey D. I don't know how he's kept the ride on Tycoon Star. He has slaughtered this horse every time he's sat on it. But he suits it. He suits it in this race. This is the sort of right. This is what Mickey D does. He frustrates the shit out of the day-to-day punter, but he's suited to this horse in this race, and he'll win a Group 1 if he wins, and Mickey D's back. And that's full credit to him. He's like lack of aggressiveness and intent will see him 3rd pair in a pack, and if the horse is on, it'll fucking rip. Would you disagree with that? Does that make sense what I'm trying to articulate?
No, it's a really good summary. I think he's an incredibly good grand final rider and probably underrated, to be honest, versus the market. But like in those lead-up runs, he's not going to necessarily ride the horse out of position to try and win the race. He's just there to keep the horse on track for that grand final. Yeah, he's just spent the whole straight
going, go slower, you fucking idiot. Go slower. And instead of just going, rolling and winning.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just think Tentris is the horse. He's been the horse all the way through. Our guy's on at $8. But I love him here. I make him short as. I could make him shorter than I got him. And I think this is one of the softer and easier Coolmores I've seen in recent years.
I think there's a long tail to this Coolmore on paper, but granted, I haven't seen half of these horses parade, so I'm really looking forward to that. But I did watch Tentaris for 20 minutes after his last start at Caulfield, just watching him walk around, just watched him improve with his walk after the race than what he was showing before the race. He's still got that little bit of fitness and coat. He's on track. Like their timing is perfectly.
Yeah, nice.
Did you you quite liked Raging Force from the yard last start, Pete, from memory?
Yeah. But my comment was Raging Force looks like he's ready for that start at Caulfield. If he wasn't beating Centaurus, then he's not beating him here, as far as I'm concerned.
Beautiful. All right, two other bets I'll have, two other betting races for you guys before we wrap it at Flemington. Race 1, backed Vinrock, and going to get something out of the 3. Prestige Olay at the big fat price, John.
You're loyal.
Yeah, I am. I'm a Vinrock man till I die. To be honest, if he gets beat, I will half blame Peter because his extreme amount of lead in the pencil early on just sort of I just took him right onto my team and he won't leave. Because that was how much Peter thought of him as a type and where he was at in the prep. And then race 5. This is D-Day for Geordie Childs. This is D-Day for King Zephyr. What this horse did last start at Caulfield was that of a weight for age Group 1 superstar. He was in an unwinnable position and reeled off sectionals that are godlike. He did that with a dominant SP. He's got just a big, thick, girthy SP profile. I think near $3 is a fucking gift for this horse. He's drawn sweet. You just pray that Geordie just gives him just a little bit of a tickle just to hold some type of spot, mate. Midfield, just worse. Now it is Flemington. He's going to have a longer time to get there. But I think King Zephyr in the autumn will be like a beast, proper horse. And this will be his coming of age. And I'm cheering for Geordie to get it right because he's been blessed with a lot of opportunity. And this is the horse to get it done for him. So, did I just knock my camera down somehow there? I think.
Yeah.
Hey guys, God bless you. Have a phenomenal Derby day. Peter, have you got one for us in the West?
Race 8, I'll stick with the 2 horses I backed first up in the Max Simmons and Luana Miss and Yes Queen to knock off Pike and Elite Bow as the favourite.
Oh, I love that. Fuck you, Pikey. All right, guys. That's been the Mailbag Preview Show brought to you by puntingform.com.au. Gamble responsibly, 1-800-858-858 or visit the website. Hope you have a phenomenal Derby day. Hope you have just a great weekend. If you go into Oasis, look after me. And Jono, anything else out wide before we go?
I like Damask Rose and the Empire Rose.
Not bad. I agree. Good price, eh?
What's that?
It's a big price. The market's gravitating a little bit to the mares like Group 2 form. It's like some of these horses have $6, $7, $8, $10 SPs versus like Evaporate and Transatlantic that Peter and I just finished pulling ourselves over in a good $10 million race, and they're all back to mares grade here. So
it was given absolutely none by Jamie Carr last start, and gets Blake Shin on wide draw, nice, just blending in at the turn. Melody Bell.
And Blake got off a bounding to get on, I believe.
There you go.
And
he rode to victory in the NZB Kiwi.
And the Kiwi horse for Uncle Chris won this race maybe last year and the year before, and it's the same thing in it, Peter. Drops back from the good races, back to mares with the SPs, not suited but good. Like a Lucy, Damask Rose, Lazura, they're the 3 in that race, I think. Have a phenomenal weekend. Behave yourselves. Oh, and buy a horse too, Jono, Jono at the mailbag.com.au. Bye for now.